an interesting one. Did you guys know that Trump is now affiliated with an American Bitcoin miner? American Bitcoin Corporation, a Trump family-backed crypto mining operation, has plans to raise additional capital, including through an initial public offering, according to an April 1st report by Bloomberg. This has to be a joke, right? We're joking? Is this real? It says on March 31st, Hut 8, a publicly traded Bitcoin miner, acquired a majority stake in American Bitcoin, formerly American Data Centers, whose founders include Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump. After the deal announcement, Hut 8 transferred its Bitcoin mining equipment into a newly created entity, which is not yet publicly traded. While American Bitcoin will focus on crypto mining, Hut 8 plans to target data center infrastructure for use cases such as high-powered or performance computing. The deal evolves Hut 8 towards more predictable, financeable, lower cost of capital segments, Asher Genoud, CEO of Hut 8, said in a statement. So you can see this is the long term as two sister publicly traded companies. One that is energy, infrastructure, data centers, and the other that's Bitcoin, ASICs, and reserves. And together they form a vertically integrated company that has some of the best economics out there. Of course, that's how you want to vertically integrate. That's everything these days, right? According to Bloomberg, American Bitcoin is working with Bitmain, a Chinese Bitcoin mining hardware supplier. Bitmain has faced scrutiny after U.S. Blacklisting of its artificial intelligence affiliate Sofco, Bloomberg reported. For those that are not aware, vertical integration just means you control all forms or all positions within the manufacturing line, essentially, is the best way to explain it. So if you're building in mining, it works like this. We'll just do it with mining, right? You control the ASIC hardware, and then you also control the power that's powering the ASIC hardware or the power delivery, and then you also control the power generation, and that would be vertical integration. Now you could go even further into saying that not only do you control the ASICs, but you also control the manufacturing of the ASIC units, and then you could basically further vertically integrate. But it means basically being able to cover all steps in the generation of the Bitcoin, right? That's what it means. Anyways, Bitcoin miners are increasingly pivoting towards alternative business lines, such as servicing artificial intelligence models after Bitcoin Network's April 2024 halving cut into mining revenues. Halvings occur every 4 years and cut in number the half of Bitcoin mined per block. Miners are diversifying into AI data center hosting as a way to expand revenues. Now, remember last week, we looked at the performance of different public mining companies, and we found that the companies that were moving into AI data and high-powered computing were performing worse than companies that were just focusing on Bitcoin mining. And so obviously some of that could have to do with, them not being fully up and running with their AI data centers. But I think that we're going to have basically an overabundance of supply within AI processing and high-powered computing, and not enough of a demand. So I think it's actually the wrong direction. Once again, we see everybody mining and holding Bitcoin, and we see everybody trying to move into high-powered computing. Well, if everybody moves into high-powered computing, then you basically have way too much supply, and there's no demand, and that industry collapses on itself. And most of the demand for AI comes from large companies that are running their own data centers as it is. So there's really no third party market for that, at least at that level. At the level of how much power it takes to generate Bitcoin, you really don't have that much of a demand for AI. It is a very power intensive industry, but not as power intensive as Bitcoin is basically my point there, right? I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. If you would like to see more from this particular episode, take a look up here. Don't forget to also subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support me directly, you can go to sonofatech.locals.com and become a member. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next Tuesday.